Hey guys, Richard Williams here from This is one of our prehab rehab series videos. This is a 3-part video series. I'm here with Dan Carner. He's a musculoskeletal therapist operating out of the southeastern suburbs here with us. Dan is great at everything running, and that's why in this video series we're going to be looking at the ankle, specifically repeat rolls and injuries, or if you're being proactive, how to prevent them. So this is the first of 3 videos where Dan's going to explain to you all of the ins and outs of the ankle, and then in the second and third one he's going to start to introduce to you some concepts on how to rehab that ankle if it's been diagnosed with an injury by a professional, or how to get ahead of it if you're looking at starting trail running or obstacle racing, or you already do it and you just want to have bulletproof ankles. Let's jump in right away.
Well, you can have the initial phases after an ankle sprain, which is it's going to swell. You're going to feel like you can't move it properly because the swelling is now acting effectively like a brace. There will of course be pain. Pain can be on the outer edge, which is the most common one to injure, but you can also have pain on the inner edge of your ankle as well. Then there's the ankle sprain that just keeps on happening and happening and happening after the first one. In that case, people often feel weak and shaky around their ankle, and they don't want to trust it in sideways movements in particular. It doesn't swell as much as the first one, but it can have some lingering aching pain that can get worse over the day. It tends to happen repeatedly because ligaments don't always heal very well. They're avascular, or at least a lot of them are, meaning they don't have a very good blood supply. And after you've stretched them, they act a little bit like tough plastic. They stay kind of stretchy and kind of loose for a good long time. The best way that you can get around this is wait for the flexibility to work itself out, that is after the swelling has gone down. And you can also start developing the muscle power, and particularly the proprioception around the ankle. The most common ligament to tear is the anterior talofibular ligament. It's on the side and front end of your foot, and it stops your foot from tilting in too much. Eventually you're going to find that you're going to gain extra range because that ligament's just being torn more, until eventually it's gone. And you're going to find that your foot can just tilt in way too far, and some people will not even feel pain on the outer side of their foot anymore. They'll feel pain on the inner side of the foot because the bones are now knocking together, or kissing as we sometimes say, and causing inner foot pain now because you're just repeatedly falling on the outer sides. You can also have ongoing swelling issues as a result of this because you're forever causing that inflammation response to switch on. And that can be different from person to person. The anterior talofibular ligament runs from here across to here, and its job is to stop your foot from going too far in that sort of direction. Another ligament that's commonly injured goes between here and here, and it's purely stopping your foot from going too far in that sort of direction. This is the most common way to sprain an ankle, and it's not uncommon to get a little bit of pain on the opposite side as well. In the early days of a sprain, you really just want to rest, ice, elevate, compress. So keep your foot above the level of your heart. Keep an ice pack around it, and stay off of it as much as you can. Seek medical advice, just period. Especially if you feel like your motor control in these directions, that is your ability to push your ankle, is limited after the injury, or you can't move your ankle as you think you should. Expect it to feel kind of gummy and restricted after an ankle sprain.